With the Dolphins on a 7-game winning streak, me and Big O have a lot to talk about. What is up, Fin fans? Doubleheader for you today. If you guys didn't check out the video earlier today, I broke down the film of the Dolphins taking on the Saints. Some of the good, some of the bad. Extremely dominant by the Miami Dolphin defense. And, Miami... I've heard this, right, when I was looking at comments and stuff, and if it wasn't for the Dolphin defense, this and that, and, the offense only scored 13 points, yeah, they still would have won. 13-3. And then also I've heard a lot of things about this win streak, and I think I'm going to make a specific video on the win streak itself and kind of debunk and kind of, go back against the people who are saying that this win streak means nothing because of the teams we faced. I'm going to make its own specific video. But before we jump into this video, first off, got to shout out a new member in Flawless 05. Thank you so much for joining and being a member. Again, there are different perks to be a member and a patron, and especially with this new year coming up, I'm going to tweak the tiers and add more and make it more worth your while to join the Patreon or become a member. But again, never feel like you need to. If you'd like to, if it's something you want to do with the benefits and all that stuff, then by all means. But don't ever feel like, oh, I should give more to Doug, because that, as long as you're watching, subscribed, and hit that like button, that is more than enough for me. But yeah, there's some news. Some players came off the COVID list, like Coleman, Maines, Jones, the offensive lineman we have. All of these things I'll talk about on Friday when I get the final detail of who's off the COVID list, who's still on it, who do we not have for Sunday's game. I'll talk about all of that on Sunday. But other than that, we're going to jump into what me and Big O have to say. We talked about a lot. We talked about Tua. We talked about the Saints game. I asked him about Brian Flores, because Brian Flores is on a 7-game winning streak. And I asked him, has his opinion changed of moving on from Brian Flores? And he gives me a very emphatic answer, and he backs it up with his feelings and facts and all that stuff. And I respect his opinion. That's why I let him talk, and that's why I let him give his opinion on it. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, we're going to jump into what me and Bagel had to talk about. And then I will see you guys tomorrow with the picks. Friday with the preview of the Dolphins taking on the Tennessee Titans. But like usual, guys, stay classy and fins up. Big O. 7 in a row. 7 in a row, Big O. I think it's time. I think it's time we can start talking playoffs, Big O. I think we hit that point in our season right now, sitting at 8-7, the 7th seed.
I'm to take down Tannehill. I'm to take down Tannehill. Okay.
That's going to be a very fun game, and we will talk about that. But first, let's rehash this Saints game. A lot of people want to say, offense messy, this, and that. I think the offense did as good as it could against that front of the Saints.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking about it today on the show. Our boy Tannehill has number 2 in the NFL at 45 sacks. Okay. Mind you, he's got a better line, better running backs, better receivers, all that kind of stuff, better coaching. And he's got way more experience, right? But yet he still has no pocket presence. Tua has 15 sacks.
Wow.
32nd in the NFL.
Wow.
By the way, Jacoby Brissett, who's played less games than Tua, has 19 to his 15. Okay, so I'm just saying, so for people that talk a lot of crap about Tua and all this stuff, it's like we hold a higher standard for him than we do other players. You know what I mean? CBS took out a great stat yesterday about the winning percentages since 2019, and his winning percentage is better than all those other guys. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and all these. I forgot who was the other young guy that they had on that list, but it's better than all the other guys that they're up against, that they all say they're better than he is. And it's just considering the limitations that this offense has.
Oh yeah,
they did just fine. They did enough. They did what they were supposed to do. I mean, the one interception was like a bad punt.
That's what I mean? Yeah.
So in the end, it didn't cost you anything and all that. And having said all that, the last couple of weeks, when he screws up, he then drives you back down for a touchdown.
Next drive.
Okay.
Every time.
So, Justin Herbert had to make a comeback this past week against Houston, and he peed in his pants and gave up a pick 6. So he didn't come back. You know what I'm saying? So, and now last time I checked, big bad Justin Herbert with the beautiful locks and throwing out of the stadium, he has the same 8 wins that Tua has, and Tua does it with a lot less. So I'm just tired of all this crap that this kid goes through, and he doesn't have the same things that others have, and yet he's producing just as much as them. You know, the difference is the style points.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what people want. And I'm sorry, this isn't the greatest show on turf, dude.
No.
This isn't Marino. There's no style points here. Just find a way to get the W, baby. And that's what they did. They're a defensive team that just needs the offense not to screw it up. Let's not kid ourselves and make it more than what it is.
Exactly. And it's funny because they popped up a stat yesterday while watching the Monday night game of the Miami Dolphins. Their first 20 starts, 20 games played, Tua was third in touchdown passes behind Bob Greasy, and not that far behind Bob Greasy.
Right.
So people got to cut this kid some slack a little bit here because
by the way, he doesn't have Zonka and Kick and Morris, and he doesn't have an offensive line and all that stuff that Greasy had. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's, I was having fun with my man Omar Kelly, one of our insiders, on a post-game show. And he refused to agree with me on this. and it was like, it was frustrating because while I love Omar, how can you not agree with me on this? And so you watch Mac Jones. He is stuck in a box because Belichick puts him in a box.
Yeah.
Belichick and McDaniels call the plays in a box. Yet he has an offensive line and a running game. Tua plays in a box because he has no offensive line and a running game. He has no choice. Yep. He has to get rid of the hot potato quickly. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I'm watching Mac Jones and Justin Herbert at times sit back there, smoke a cigar, take a shower, and then go find a receiver. And Mac's finding a receiver for 4 seconds, 4 yards later. Not 40 yards, 4 yards. I'm like, so he doesn't have the same things other guys have.
No.
And yet, that's why I'm saying that if you look at his stats, they're actually more impressive than what you look at. That's why I'm one of the few nutbags that said last year, I thought Tua was phenomenal. Not okay, not all right. No, he was phenomenal. How many guys are playing with no line, no experience, no reps in the preseason, coming off hip surgery and all that, and you still win more than you lose? You still throw more touchdowns than you lose? Are you kidding me, dude? All right, come on. Give the kid a break, bro. So offense just doesn't have to screw it up. And this week, don't screw it up. That's it.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because wins, a lot of people, it depends on their narrative, right? Win and losses when it comes to the team. Some people put it on the quarterback if it fits their narrative. Some people put it on the quarterback if, oh, look how many losses fits the narrative, how many wins. But you notice a difference from when Tua is on the field and when Tua is off the field. And you notice it in the win and loss bracket too. Because Jacoby Brissett, when he was out there for that 4 games, even when, oh my God, that 3rd and 1 play where they rolled Jacoby Brissett out to the right, he had Mac Hollins open for like 6 seconds and then decides, oh, I'm going to try to make it for the first down. And that's why Jacoby Brissett did not win those 4 games that he started, because he loves to stare down receivers, but they have to be so open. And it drives me nuts. And then we talked about the sacks.
And he depends on his arm strength because he has no anticipatory skills.
No, none at all.
And that's part. And the guy you're playing this week has no anticipatory skills either. Never had. That's part of his problem at quarterbacking. Which is something that, that in a way, that's the beauty of the short quarterback.
Yeah.
The short quarterback is forced to learn anticipatory skills, because they're usually throwing to spots that there's no receiver there, but they're used to throwing that route and that rep, and they're counting on the receiver to run the same exact route and the same exact timing to it all. And that's because they can't see over these mammoth human beings. You know, one of the things I explained on my show with Drew Brees, Sean Payton was very smart.
Yeah.
He always had elite guards and centers because that pocket cannot cave in. Because once the pocket caves in for a short quarterback, the passing lanes disappear and he can no longer see. It's very important that they block, and they block with space, because those are passing lanes that he's seeing. Once they're all bunched up, he's not tall enough to see over those guys. That's why the 6'5" guy can, in traffic, can look over and throw. But the shorter guy then has to roll out, has to move, has to be able to do that. So a lot of times when they're throwing to spots. Guys aren't there. And Jacoby Brissett cannot do that. He has no anticipatory skills. Tua does.
Yeah.
Tua has done it already several times, that he shows you anticipatory skills. And that when you're short, you're forced to learn it, because you are playing it in it every day. And there's no way that the pocket is going to stay clean in front of you at times. So chaos is going to happen, and how you're going to handle it. And that's why ball placement, anticipatory skills are so important. Accuracy is so important. You know, today I was having a discussion with Alan Poupar on this, and he was talking about, and in a way he was kind of downplaying the offense, say, well, you know, it's a short passing game and it's quick passing, and, you know, credit to them on that. And I go, yeah, but that's not easy.
Yeah.
Because if it was easy, Ian Book would have done it this week against the Dolphins. Right?
Yeah.
If it's easy, then everybody would do it. But it's funny, right? Oh, Brady just dinks and dunks you. Yeah. So what? That's what you gave him, right?
Yeah.
Dink, dunk, dink, dunk, dink. Boom. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yep.
And so, but it's funny. Brady can dink and dunk, but then all of a sudden when Tua does it, it's an issue. And it's like, well, what do you want him to do under this situation he's in? And this is why you, like what you said, it's a different game with Tua if you watch
100%.
it compared to Ryan Tannehill, Pat White, Jabroni Brisket,
John
whatever.
Beck.
what John Beck, whatever the hell you want to see from the past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, this is a real quarterback. But we do have to give him something. You know, Marino was great, but he didn't win it. Why didn't he win it all?
No
Because he
defense.
still never had a defense and a running game. So even Marino needed help in order to win it all, right? Well, if you want to win it all with Tua and you don't want to get to the 9-10 win plateau, get him a damn line and a running game and a coaching staff on the offensive side, and we'll see the results.
Yeah, 100%. And we saw Tua do exactly what you're talking about with that middle lane, right? With seeing it, because there was a ton of times you brought up the sacks, you brought up that he has so little, but played so many more downs. Yesterday, we saw consistently these tackles get beat. Tua steps up. One play, and I think it was a beautiful pass to Gesicki across the middle.
Yes.
Jesse Davis got beat. I don't know, Big O, if you're surprised by that, but Jesse Davis got beat, steps up, then Hunt gets beat, steps to his left, and then throws it. Like he just weaved in, so the lane opened for him to see down the middle.
That's a sack with 17.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remember this guy? Remember this guy? That's a sack. That plays a sack with Ryan.
And people want to compare Tua Tagovailoa to Ryan Tannehill, right? Look at his first year, look at his second year. Ryan Tannehill's second year, I called him concrete feet. He would stay in the pocket, he would stare down his receiver and wait for him to get open, and then take these sacks. Because people would say, oh, look at the first 2 years of Ryan Tannehill. Look how many sack numbers he had. He had a horrible offensive line. I always say this, when it comes to the offensive line and the quarterback, it's a yin and yang situation. Yes, the offensive line needs to get the quarterback time, but the quarterback also needs to move in the pocket to give the offensive line some help. Tannehill was horrible at that.
The 15 sacks Tua has would be 38 for Ryan Tannehill.
Yep.
The same plays would be 38 times.
And people want Tua to throw it deep. We want deep passes. Why? Tannehill was horrible at the deep passes his first 2 years.
Yeah, he got
So
better.
inaccurate.
Right.
So now all of a sudden, people see what Tannehill's doing, going, well, we got rid of him. Yeah,
Right.
because you hated him the first 2 years we had him.
And by the way, Tua's super accurate on deep balls.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just accurate on everything. You know what I mean? So, that's the difference. The difference is Ryan had to learn how to play the quarterback position.
Yes.
And he still never did, by the way, because he never developed pocket presence. That's something you either have it or you don't. You don't develop it. Okay. Because when I was a kid and I'm in my teens and early 20s and I'm watching Marino and people are saying, how the hell does he do it all the time? Because it's just the blitz is coming and Brady does it all the time too. And you're about to get him and he gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Because he senses it. It's not that he saw it because it wasn't like he was looking. It's to his backside. And somehow or another, he gets rid of it and then gets hit. And you're like, damn, he just got rid of it. And you see it all the time with really good quarterbacks. Like Ogba is like right there.
Yeah.
And the really good quarterback is just boom, getting rid of it just in time because they hold it to the last second that they can hold it to wait for their play to develop. But they're also they're very aware of what's going on. And there's a clock in their head. That clock has never been in Ryan Tannehill's head, ever. That's why he's Tannehill, because he'll kill your drive. He'll kill your career if you're a specific tight end. Things like that will happen around Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, and like to add to your point about Dan Marino, Bruce Smith is on record for saying he hated it because he was always right there. And they called Dan Marino. I think when NFL Network used to do the top 10, Dan Marino was on there for mobile quarterbacks. He wasn't mobile in the sense that he's going to rush for 500 yards a season, or he was mobile in the fact that in that pocket, you weren't catching him. He would step up at the last moment. You'd fall behind him. He'd
sliding, moving, always. Danny always did that. Now he had a sick radar.
Oh my God.
His radar to find players open and it's really easy when he says, find a guy, let it fly.
Yeah, exactly.
He had that magic, dude. He was able to find that guy quickly and let it fly. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
And his arm would make those throws straight.
Gorgeous.
No arc to it, just right to him. Gorgeous. But looking at this defense, right? A lot of people want to downgrade the defense. You played against the practice squad, which they're not wrong, but we dominated that practice squad.
You did what you were supposed to do to them,
exactly.
Which you dominated them 23. So kiss my ass if anybody's going to be. I'm playing the Dolphin defense. Dolphin defense is what's carried this team, dude. That's why they've won 7 in a row. That's why they're 8-7 now. The offense it's do enough and get out of the way. Special teams is don't screw it up.
Yep.
Even though Jason Sanders is not Jason Sanders anymore.
Yeah.
And then the defense is they're the guys, bro. They're the guys.
Yep.
They're the guys. They have to carry it. They have to make the plays. And it's funny because Nick Needham scored the game-winning points. We didn't know that at that moment. That's 7 points right there. That's all you needed for the rest of the game.
That was it.
So how could you pick on a defense that won the game? You know what I mean?
They easily could have won 7-3 if they can. If the offense could not, like, say the defense wasn't out with Jenkins and their 2 linebackers, and their defense just shut down the Dolphins' offense, Dolphins still win 7-3. And we talked about that when we were previewing this game. I said it's going to be a defensive game. Whoever makes the mistake is going to lose, and the Saints made the mistake. Plain and simple.
I'm with you there, right? And what happened is what was supposed to happen. The defense was supposed to dominate that offense, and the offense has just got to find a way to put a couple points on the board.
Yep.
And that's what they've got to do the next 2 weeks, by the way. It's just find a way to put a few points on the board. And the defense's job is to dominate the next 2 offenses you're facing. And guess what? You should.
Yeah.
There's no Derrick Henry this week. And next week, the New England offense isn't scary, man. There isn't any receivers that scare you. The quarterback doesn't scare you. The running game doesn't scare you. It's a very, what's it called? I don't know, passive offense. It's not anything special. So you should dominate. The key is the defense dominates the next 2 weeks, and the offense don't make mistakes the next 2 weeks. and don't turn over the ball, and you'll be just fine.
Exactly. And you hit that nail right on the head with that one. And it's funny because we'll talk about this. 7 games, right? You go on a 7-game winning streak in the NFL. It's not easy. It's clearly, and going from 1-7 to 7-7 never has happened in the NFL history. But people are downplaying it. People are saying, look at the competition. They played the Jets, they played the Panthers, they played the Giants, they played a depleted Saints team. The only good team they played is the Ravens. But then I sit back and I see the Cardinals lose to the Lions, the Chargers lose to the Texans, the Jets beat the Titans and the Bengals. So
Bucks lost to the Jags.
You're gonna sit here. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna sit here and tell me going on a 7-game winning streak in the NFL dictates your opponent? Like, seriously?
No. And again, if you're saying that and it's the Kansas City Chiefs, I understand that.
Yeah.
Because they're at another level. But if you look at the Dolphins and you look at their offense and you've won 7 in a row with that offense, that's super impressive. I don't care who the talent is. That's how you're supposed to look at it, because it's the worst offensive line in football, dude.
Yeah.
They have no running game.
Nope.
They have a second-year quarterback. They only have one reliable receiver. The other reliable receiver, they refuse to play him, even though he'll make a 40-yard play for you downfield, but they refuse to play him a lot. And so it's like the weirdest thing. So you have to really look at the big picture of how they got there. So if you're doing it with this offense and that defense, it's still super impressive to win 7 in a row. You have to put it into perspective. If you're an elite team that you've got on this run, you got to look at the elite team and say, well, you're supposed to do that. Look at the competition, dude. You're better than all of them. But if you're going to sit there and treat the Dolphins like they're the Kansas City Chiefs or the Tampa Bay Bucks, you're an idiot again, because we're doing the same thing we do to Tua. It's not we, but the people out there, that you're handling Tua and putting different expectations on him than everybody else. And that's just a bunch of crap. 7 in a row is 7 in a row. And 7 in a row with this offense is awesome. Okay? And with these offensive coaches and that terrible offensive line coach and a weak-ass quarterback coach, this is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to talk about a subject we've talked about a lot, and a lot of people in my comment section want me to ask you this question. So this is from me and from the subscribers.
Shoot.
We're 8-7 right now. Won 7 in a row after going 1-7. Do you still want to get rid of Brian Flores?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guess people aren't paying attention to me. Has nothing to do with the wins or the losses. I can live with him being terrible at challenges. I can live with him learning how to get along with people, because he obviously has a real problem getting along with people. I can live with him learning how to be a coach and figuring things out. Like, I don't know, I was talking today, maybe you play Brandon Jones this week and take Jackson out, because terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or why don't you play Mac Hollins more, which he's so incredibly reliable? And why doesn't Mike Gesicki play more downs? You know what I mean? There are things that I can live with that he has to get better at. But if you can't build an offensive staff, I don't need you as a head coach. Don't need you. You're useless to me. So he has failed to build an offensive staff for 3 years now. Listen to me. Pay attention, people, what I'm saying. Listen. Okay? Because I've given the examples already. Sperano started 2-4. He went 9-2. And what happened? What happened? Gase did the same thing. It was 1-4 or 2-4, whatever, and he won 9 games too, 9-2, 9-1, whatever. How did that work out? You know what I mean? It's happened 3 times in the last 20 years. This is the 4th time that they've had a really crappy start and they had an incredible finish, and it meant nothing. So stop being prisoners of the moment, okay? That has nothing to do with it. doesn't mean he's a great coach.
Yeah.
Didn't mean Sperano was a great coach. Didn't mean Gase was a great coach. And I think it was once that was the other one that they did it. And none of them meant that they were great coaches. And by the way, once that won 11 games twice and 10 games once. And Gase also won 10 games and Sperano won 11 games. That doesn't make you a great coach. Okay? I've learned that now over the years. Eric Spoelstra took over for Pat Riley. Okay? Well, Van Gundy actually. No, Pat Riley, because he fired Van Gundy. Then Pat Riley came back, and then Spo took over. Spo has had 3 different coaching staffs. He continues to develop players. He continues to win. Okay, Belichick has lost coordinators left and right. Okay, defensive coordinators from Romeo Crennel and Dean Pease. And now he's got his guy now, and he had Flo. You know, he replaces them, right? Yeah. Saban replaces his coaches. You understand? Andy Reid, his guys leave and they become head coaches, and he changes them, and he brings in new ones, and they continue to win. Ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't been able to build one staff yet. He has failed every year, and he will fire Pepe Le Pew at the end of the year. Okay, that's Jean-Pierre, by the way, the offensive line coach. But I call him Pepe Le Pew because, as you all know, Pepe Le Pew was a skunk, and they stink. So it's just perfect, okay? So anyway, so if you can't find an offensive line coach, I said they stink. Shut up. Anyway, so they can't find an offensive line coach. They can't find a QB coach. They can't find offensive coordinators. So he has been a disaster on offense. I will explain this again, okay? Did you solve the offense with Wanstead and company? Because I watched Jason Taylor get old. Yeah. I watched Zach Thomas get old. I watched Sam Patrick Tan, Tim Bowens. I watched them get old.
We watched Ricky Williams retire because of that.
And then I watched Cam Wake and Jones and a couple of other defensive players that we had in those times, and Soliano get old because Wanstead couldn't figure out the offense, because Jimmy Johnson couldn't figure out the offense with JJ, because Sperano couldn't figure out the offense. He had to come up with some bull crap wildcat, because Gase also came in as an offensive mind, and there was nothing. He was offensive, is what he was. Because Philbin couldn't figure out the offense, and we got another guy that can't figure out the offense. I'm not watching Jalen Phillips get old. I'm not watching Javon Holland get old. I'm not watching Raekwon Davis get old again. I'm not watching Emmanuel Ogbah get old again. Are you understanding me now? I'm not watching Brandon Jones get old on my ass. I'm already old. I don't have that luxury anymore. Okay? I watched Marino get old because Shula couldn't figure out the running game and the defense. You can't be half a coach. Okay? And Wanstead was half a coach, and Jimmy was half a coach, and all the other clowns we had weren't even half a coaches. I'll give Flo that he's half a coach. He knows his defense. And even that's saying he didn't even know how to play Jalen Phillips at the beginning of the year. And he had Jerome Baker move inside when Jerome Baker doesn't have the body to play inside, finally moved him outside. Still makes mistakes on defense, which is what he does the best. So listen to me. What I'm saying has nothing to do with the wins and losses. I've watched this before. Don't get caught. Don't be a prisoner of the moment. Stand back. Look at everything going on. Tell me that anything I said was wrong. Tell me anything I said was a lie. And argue with me that the entire history that I just talked about is dead ass accurate. That's exactly what it is. So I know what a lot of you are saying. Well, let's give him one more chance. And guess what? He's won 7 in a row. So there's a good chance that the front office says, and I'm telling you, not everybody in that building anymore is a Flo fan. I'm telling you, okay? All right. I'm telling you before anybody says it, because nobody's reported it nationally, locally, whatever. He walks into that building. He acts like Josh McDaniels. He acts like Matt Patricia, that he knows everything. He's had trouble getting along with people. This is a front office that was forced to trade Minka to then get Javon Holland. I don't know how many front offices can do that.
Yeah.
Go get a young Pro Bowl safety that I'm now forced to trade. And hey, guess what? I'll find you another one. Okay, so he couldn't get along with Gailey, which was his best coordinator that the front office got for him. Okay, he's the one that chose the Three Stooges. The front office got him Fitz, not him. He went and got Brissett. Okay.
Yeah.
Just telling you. All right. He fired an offensive line coach after year one that wanted to play Dieter at center. Where's Dieter playing? Okay. I'm just telling you. He has things that you like, but he's a half a coach. He hasn't proven to me at all in any way, shape, or form that he knows offense and he knows how to improve it. And that's my problem, folks. If he cannot build an offensive staff, he is useless as a head coach. Because as I've told you already, the good coaches, the great coaches, they keep replacing their assistants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's Bill Walsh, who then says, Mike Holmgren, have a great career.
Yep.
Sam Weish, have a great career. Dennis Green, have a great career. George Seifert, welcome aboard. I'm leaving. You take over. Understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so if you don't know the history of the game, part of the history of the game as a head coach in any level is that you got to have great assistants.
Yep.
And if you can't replace those great assistants with more great assistants, then you have a problem. And Flo has yet to hire any great assistants on offense. I don't even know if he has them on defense. I just think he runs the defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on the defense. Okay? Until he shows me that he can hire offensive coaches and put together an offensive staff and get together a competent offense to complement this exceptionally young, beautiful defense that's developing, I will not believe in Flo no matter what happens on the field. Okay? So let's not kid ourselves. Let's look at the reality and let's see what's going on. And if you want, you can email me at Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com or on Twitter at Big O Show. You want to follow me there? You want to dispute? You want to discuss? Go ahead. You can join me on the show if you want. But I'm telling you what I've told you now. I think it's pretty hard to, say, yeah, no, he's wrong here. He's wrong there. This is the reality we live in. And I just don't want history to repeat itself like it has for the last 20 to 25 years. These are the same issues we've had for a long, long time. We have a front office. They failed in finding the right head coach. They have to find a coach that can build an entire staff year in and year out.
Yeah. And you make sense. A lot of people live in the moment. A lot of people see what he's doing. And you hit a point with the defensive coordinators, right? Because Patrick Graham goes to the Giants and I don't see any really success over there with the Giants. And you see now with Josh Boyer, all of a sudden for 7 games, we were struggling on defense. And then all of a sudden you see Brian Flores has a play sheet in his hand. And now all of a sudden the defense starts to step up and now all of a sudden the defense starts to play different. So I see where you're coming from.
All his coaches are college and high school coaches.
Yep.
With very, very Jean-Pierre Pepe Le Pew has very little NFL experience. Got a little bit of NFL experience, but that's the other thing. Most young coaches, they want to go hire older coaches. They can lean on them. How come this guy gets rid of all his veteran players and veteran coaches? What is it about that?
Yeah.
What's it about Brian Flores that he doesn't want anybody of experience around him? Does he not want to hear another opinion? I wonder.
Very,
Think
very
for,
interesting.
think for yourselves a little bit. It's happening right in front of your eyes. Everything that's happened for the last 3 years, all the changes of coaches, pushing players away from Van Noy to the safety, and the safety would have helped out at the beginning of the year in the transition for the young safety.
Mhm.
Van Noy could have helped out in the transition for the young linemen. Why did you do that? Why'd you get rid of Eric Flowers? You
Oh
needed
my God.
experience on the O line. Why'd you get rid of the Emmanuel, whatever other guy that he could have helped you out on the O line? Why is it that there are veteran players falling by the wayside left and right on this team?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And why is it that veteran coaches don't exist on this team when most young coaches clamor for veteran coaches so they can learn from them, so they can lean on them, so it can make their lives a little easier? Why does this guy choose to go a completely different path? Ask yourselves those things. Forget about just this success.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of success has happened before in the last 20 years with the Dolphins. The same kind of success
Mm-hmm.
and the same kind of issues are happening over and over again. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And like you said, you gave your facts with the past, and it's interesting. You know, I'm pretty sure that both of us don't think he'll get fired after going on a 7-8 game winning streak.
I know it
So
sounds crazy what I'm saying, but if you think about what I'm saying and what I'm telling you, you know, you're almost better off with a veteran coach that has a thick ass Rolodex and can go get an old grizzled offensive line coach. Maybe you go steal an offensive coordinator from college
mhm,
that kind of can do a lot of the things that Tua does, and a lot of things that the NFL is doing. But you need some veterans in there, man. You need some people that are proven,
mhm,
at different positions, and they just don't have that anywhere on this team.
mm-mm.
Flo's the only proven coach they have on the team. Only one. Only one. That's the
Wonder
crazy thing.
why. I
Yeah.
wonder why. Last thing we're going to talk about, though, Sunday's game. Miami Dolphins taking on their
Well,
old
one more
quarterback.
thing before I let you go.
Yeah.
One more thing. Special teams and offense have gone backwards, right? Only
Yep.
defense.
Mhm.
It's only defense. That's the only thing Flo really knows.
I'm
Go
pretty
ahead,
sure
I'm sorry.
we really miss Rizzy right now. So he got
You know,
mad. He got mad that he didn't have more consideration for that head coaching job.
well, yeah, I get it. I get that.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But
And I know it's tough for owners and GMs to pull the trigger on special teams coaches to become head
mhm,
coaches. And obviously, John Harbaugh is a perfect example. And prior to him, Bill Cowher was a special teams coach.
mhm.
I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he was a special teams coach too. So yeah, it's one of those things. What are you gonna do?
But the next two games to get into the playoffs, we are facing our old quarterback and we're facing the evil villain and Bill Belichick. But this Sunday game against Tennessee, to me it seems like it's not as bad as the Saints offense, but to me it seems like another defense versus defense game because they don't have Derrick Henry. They might not have Julio Jones. They all of a sudden their COVID list starts to get real long. It
Yeah.
seems like Ryan Tannehill versus our defense and Tua Tagovailoa versus their defense, and they have a good defense. So their front is really good. What's your thoughts on this game?
It's the same as this past week. It's I expect Miami's defense. They should dominate their offense and limit them. It's all on Miami's offense. Miami's offense has just got to find a way to score some points and take care of the football. If they can score 10 to 13 points, I think the defense will pick up another 7 from Ryan. I don't think their offense will score more than 3 to 7 to 10 points on the Dolphins when it's all said and done. I had New Orleans scoring 9, 3 field goals last week, and they only got to 1.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel that the Titans will go light up Miami or anything like that. So I just think it's a matter of the defense keeping them in check and really the offense just doing enough. Not a lot because they can't do a lot, but and especially against that front, they just got to take care of the ball. If they're not turning over the ball, they're fine. They'll be fine.
Big O.
I really feel that way.
Fantastic.
And by the way, that amoeba should attack the hell out of
Oh,
Ryan.
yeah.
And Ryan gets, dude, I'm jumbled up. I'm losing my touch. You know, that's what happens to him when he gets rushed. You know, it's that song. All right, that's what's going to happen to him. You know, he gets scatterbrained, and that's what happened to Ian Book. He got scatterbrained at that time because it's coming from all ways, and he has terrible pocket presence. So you should be able to harass and frustrate him and force him into mistakes. As long as Tua doesn't do the same thing, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. Well, they go. Hopefully, we meet next week, sitting there at 9-7. 9-7. Just gotta
take down Darth Vader. Be awesome. Be awesome.
Big O, what do you got going on this week on your channel?
Well, we will tomorrow we'll obviously break down this game, and Friday. Tomorrow we'll be over at Hialeah Park, and then on Friday we'll be over at Craig's Inn Acura. So check us out at Big O Radio Show on all platforms, but you can catch us live on YouTube every day, 10 Eastern, 10 to 1. And then it's podcasted after that, so you can listen to it, and you can find it on every platform at Big O Radio Show. And then Sunday we'll be at Sports Grill, where we've won 7 in a row at Sports Grill. We were at another location of Sports Grill, and we were 1-7. And since we switched over, it's really us, not the Dolphins, not the defense.
No,
it's really us switching over to Sports Grill in Miami. So we'll be doing that on Sunday, starting off at 11 a.m., which, of course, you will join us at 12:30 on Sunday to talk a little Dolphins and a little Titans.
Yes, sir. Be sure to go check Big O out if you haven't yet. Subscribe to his channel. Big O, I will see you Sunday, 12:30, breaking down the Dolphins taking on the Titans.
Go Miami.
Let's go.
Always.